Talking about light pollution and light painting, intro with Kim Henry.
Oopsie.
Is it good or is it bad?
Yeah, so usually when we work at night, when we do night shooting, we think we want to avoid light pollution, but like anything, I guess.
You're gonna look ugly.
Yeah, things get messy.
Okay, so we start with light pollution that is far away. So in these first examples, we are probably 50 kilometers away from big city, so Vegas in this case. And by being not too far from a big city, you get that really beautiful glow. And when it aligns with the Milky Way, it's a big bonus. So we had that in this case. It's not easy to figure that out. And that's before we knew about PhotoPiz. I don't even know if PhotoPiz was there back then. That's 2016. But somehow the Milky Way went straight into the glow of Vegas that's been created in Valley of Fire in Nevada. Same thing for this one. I'm not sure why the glow is stronger on this one. I'm not even sure if it's the same night, but yeah, on this one, it's even brighter. It might be longer exposure also. I don't remember what were the settings on this one. But can you imagine the same image without the light pollution far away? That wouldn't be the same at all.
Yeah, because it kind of gives a good separation between the mountains in this case and the sky. So it kind of makes a nice place to put the subject in.
Still with the glow of Vegas, but this time much further away, probably 150 kilometers away from Vegas, but still visible and still useful. In that case, we were shooting with the Milky Way, and we've just been lucky that the glow was at the right place. We're starting to know that place. We know where the glow is going to be most of the time, and yeah, we're trying to use it anyway. It's there. So, and same thing here. It's very close to the previous one, but using an 85mm lens, so the glow looks more like the sunset, but it's Vegas again, far away. Getting closer to home on this one. Can you take from there?
To like choose our framing to make sure that it was with the composition and the Milky Way in that case. So that's the thing, like sometimes it's hard to know where the glow is going to be once you get on the location, unless you know the location. So it's always a matter of once you see the glow, like how you adjust your framing and your composition to make sure that it fits with the rest. One more time.
Are we okay?
Yeah. Is that clear so far? So far, I think. No question so far. So once again, that's probably Montreal light pollution in the background. And once again, since the city is very far with a long exposure, that was how many seconds for this one?
Probably 8.
Yeah. So around 8 seconds. So you get like that really nice glow that is add onto the picture itself. So it's kind of a bonus when it works.
Now we're getting a bit closer to the light pollution. When you're close enough, it feels sometimes that the light pollution looks like gold, and we really used it on this case here. So this has been shot in France last year, and we're not very far from the city. We're above everything on top of a hill, and we're not affected by the light pollution. Like in front of Kim, there's nothing. So so we're really using what's behind her. So that's working super well in this case. It's not too far away. and with the clouds, it looks even better. So again, this picture wouldn't be the same without the light pollution. Same here in Bolivia. Using this is the same village as this one here, but we're closer. So we walked on this one. So we're probably 8 kilometers from the, not even 8, probably 4 kilometers from the village. But what's interesting in that case is that it's a single village and there's nothing around, and we're using like the just the glow of it, and there's no other pollution left and right.
Yeah, exactly. So in all these examples, we're using the light pollution behind the subject, so it doesn't affect the scene, except for the very far background. So, and we have a question right here from Stéphane. Est-ce que tu utilises une balance de blanc particulière? So do you need a specific white balance to...
Yeah, so we'll answer in French and English on this one. J'utilise je shoot en RAW anyway, fait que ça change rien, là, mais je pars tout le temps de 52, de 5200, puis je descends jusqu'à 3200. Mais quand je shoot avec la ville comme ça va être souvent autour de 3600. Mais ça dépend, les villes sont pas toutes la même couleur. Des fois, il y a des villes qui sont plus éclairées au LED, fait que là, tu vas shooter peut-être un peu plus froid dans ce temps-là. So, for the white balance, I'm starting always with a very warm temperature going to cold, but when we're working with the city in the background, it changes a lot depending on the place. And for cities, it changes if it's more LED. So this one is not LED at all. It's an old place. So I think it was at 36 something on this one.
Et j'ajouterais à ça aussi, on choisit la couleur du tube en fonction aussi de ça. Donc, si, par exemple, ici, comme il dit, les lumières sont assez jaunes, orange, donc on peut se permettre d'utiliser ça, mais quand la pollution lumineuse est plus loin, ça va donner comme un ciel qui est jaune, orangé. Donc, à ce moment-là, on va choisir un tube qui fonctionne mieux, qui est plus complémentaire avec la couleur. So I was saying that we're also choosing the color of the tube we're using according to how the light pollution, like how far is the light pollution and how it affects the colors in the sky. So we make sure it matches with the sky. Make sense? Okay, in this particular case, light pollution, what is more important, lumens or exposure time?
It's always a balance of all of these things. That's the way it is. I mean, you need to balance, so on this one, just as always, I do my test shot without the tube. I need to figure out the right settings for the camera. And once it looks good, then we're changing the brightness of the flashlight, because I need to be able to see through the light painting itself. So can you go full screen on the image? So if you look closely at this one, you see that we can see through the tube, and that was my goal. So we adjust the brightness of the flashlight to get there.
Yeah, so we could see through the light painting.
But not too much.
Exactly. And for other cases where the light is very far, the light pollution is very far, and it creates a glow, then I think it's going to be a matter also of how big you want the glow to be. So he's going to test for time exposure, and then the glow not being too strong, so we can still see the stars in the sky, and then we adjust with the light painting with the strength or the lumen accordingly.
Yeah, and on this specific case, these are really the right settings for the camera and the brightness of the flashlight, because we can even see the glow of the orange tube on the ground. So everything fits perfectly. This is what I aim for this kind of shots. This one here was a bit more tricky because I wanted Kim to be lit up. I wanted to get the Milky Way, to have the nice glow of the city. Sometimes you're more lucky also, like if the village would have been twice closer, like just way closer, it would have been possible to get the Milky Way also, because the brightness of the village would have been too big. But so I wanted to have Kim probably lit up, but to make that, I needed to go in front of her. So the twirl on the side was to light up her face on this specific case. So it's always also, yeah, last thing about this one, what makes it easier to get more light on the what's happening with the connection?
Oh, do you see something?
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
So what I was trying to say is that to get more light on her face, yes, I'm going on the side, I'm going in front with the twirl, but also I have a glow cap on the top of the tube, and this is bouncing back the light. So we're getting more reflection, more light going on Kim. Okay, so we'll go inside. Look okay at first glance, but we avoid that kind of images. So it feels like there's too much light. This one is even worse. It just gives a kind of a bad texture on the skin. So not very fan of working in cities like this. This one is a bit better because the light is on one side. This one is not in a city. It's this, isn't it in Petra in Jordan? No. Okay, that's in Vegas.
Yep.
It's architecture all around, but the light is flat on Kim because it's coming from all over the places. So we avoid that. And this is our worst example.
I'm gonna do a close up on this one.
So yeah, this one I don't think we ever published it. It's just too ugly, and I think we had the lamppost on top of the camera, something like this. The light pollution was just too strong, so we really don't like that kind of images.
So as we were saying, when we use light pollution, we try to have it either really far away and only in the background, like on the subject or on the light painting, because we want the light painting to actually light up the surroundings and not any ambient light that would totally change the visual, the effect, and basically change the I don't know how to say. Yeah, that would change, as you see, like these. You don't really feel that the light painting is, I don't know, having an impact on the surroundings. It feels like it's just something that is add on, and it feels less natural, organic, or.
Yeah, in most of our images, if you analyze our stuff, you see that the light painting is either reflected or has an impact on the sand, on the water. So here, yes, we have a little bit of reflection, but it's just not enough. And also something very important about these shots in the city, if let's say this one is 2 seconds long, this is a 2 seconds exposure. Kim is going to be exposed in the front during 2 seconds. This is very different from doing like a circle behind and bringing a little bit of light on the side, because on that 2 seconds, she's going to be lit on one side for a fraction of a second. And this is how we get sharper images. If your subject is constantly lit up for more than 2, 3, 5, 4, 5 seconds, you have more chance of getting a blurry subject. That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm. And a less interesting light on the skin and on the scene itself.
Now let's go in the clouds. I love working with clouds and light pollution. These are images that would not be possible without clouds. So it's kind of a bonus when you're shooting late at night, you have a city and clouds, you can shoot for a long time and the settings are not changing. So you have more time to experiment with different things, finding the right color for the tube. And on this specific one here, I use the rose bronze. I use this one so much, and it fits well with light pollution. So this one is in Rimouski. It's not a big city, but with clouds like this, which is perfect for what we were doing. Same here. I don't think I have the right color for the tube, but this is an old one, and yeah, I didn't have that tube back then. But still, it's a good example how the clouds can turn into something glowing.
Yeah, because otherwise, probably in a clear night sky, it would just be a glow, like a small glow.
Yeah. Same on this one. Here, no clouds, no picture. As simple as that, because there was nothing interesting. So the texture of the cloud with the light pollution far away was perfect. This one's been made in Spain during the Photopillas camp. Not sure when. This one, much light pollution, just enough to give us a few patches of glow here and there. So this is very different because it's not a uniform glow of one city. It's just like bigger spots that are. This is Roswell behind, but I think it was more on the left side, and we don't have the whole village, just big spots.
We have a question here from Dav. Difference distinguished from the background. I'm not sure I understand. Difference distinguished from the background. I don't understand your question. Sorry. Well, can you give us more details? Just to make sure we can answer properly. So we can continue, I'll get back.
Okay, a few tricks. Get closer with light pollution. It works super well sometimes, depending on the place. I really love to do this, especially when I have a fast lens. I shoot at f1.8, f1.4, and this is how we create that kind of images. So the background, the light pollution is totally out of focus, and it makes everything glow in the background. And on this one, you see it's very different from our usual work, but it's the same technique. The light on the ground is still from the tube. It's a very small tube. So this is a black tube with a small holographic one. I'm not sure which one it was, but very similar to using this. And what's interesting is that in this one is that I'm not even in the frame. I'm behind or on the side of the camera, so I don't even have to think about hiding myself. So I do this shape, and while I point a little bit down, a little bit at Kim's face, I can lit up properly Kim and the floor and the ground at the same time. And again, you have to balance everything, so find the right brightness for the tube so you can have the right settings of the camera to get the beautiful glow in the background. So you see the light pollution, that the light from the small city, it's giving us also that gradient, that beautiful gradient all around Kim. So it's all in one shot. It's not a composite. These are things you can do with light painting if you have the right equipment and the time to do it. It was warm enough to do it that night. Same on this one, again in France. So this one was in Spain. This one is in France, just a few weeks prior to the other one, or after, I don't remember. But same thing, I'm behind the camera, which is making things so much easier. And I set the right settings on the camera, the brightness of the flashlight, and then I just do one movement. This is about 1 second, very fast. And it feels like it's a studio portrait, like the way she's up, it's just like using a softbox, but I'm moving the light. So each shot is a little bit different, and we have that beautiful trace of light part of
and
the
in,
picture.
in those two cases, we were above the city, so above the lights, so we could actually have the light pollution per se, like that was mostly becoming something abstract, and then we would still have the sky with the gradient that Eric is talking about.
Do we have a clarification on that question?
No, not yet.
Are we still live?
I think we are.
Everything's okay, Andres?
So far, so good.
Okay, sometimes if you're very close to a village, you can have the light coming at your subject, and it's hard to manage that. So big time on this specific spot. So it's very close to the uni village, and you can see on the ground how strong the light was. You see shadows everywhere, and we were going nowhere with that because Kim was orange. She had an orange face due to the strong light pollution coming from the same became the model, and I went back, so barely no skin, and that worked super well. And suddenly we had something. It looks much better like this. The foreground is totally lit up by light pollution, but we can still get the Milky Way because there's barely no other lights in the background.
Exactly. So in this case, we wanted to have the Milky Way. That's why we were facing in that direction, as opposed to having the light pollution behind the subject. So we were going for the Milky Way, but then, as you can see, the light pollution was super strong and very like yellow orangish. So we made it work by having Eric cover his skin, so we wouldn't see the weird color on the face.
And also, when it's too much, so same thing as the previous picture, when you have too much light coming from behind the camera, even if you have, because it's just too bright in the behind the camera. So in that kind of cases, I would simply change the settings to get rid of the background totally. So on this one, I had the beach, so beautiful night sky, pure behind Kim. But we had a few houses behind us, and it was just too much. So I totally discarded the background. So I went with different settings. This is probably f5.6 ISO 100, something like this. Very fast exposure. And I've been able to do this mostly because I had beautiful reflection. Without reflection, it would be just a studio shot, so no point of doing this. But when we're working at the beach and we have reflection, then it's still worth it to be outdoors, especially if you have other things all around.
Yeah, and it's something we try to look for when we do location scouting. We try to spot if there are any like street lights or strong like big lights coming from houses, but sometimes it's hard to predict. Like you can have a spot and you're like, okay, it's fine, there's nothing, but then like there's this house behind further away that you didn't see. And this is a good way to make it work. Another good way to make it work otherwise. Do you focus your lenses on Kim or on the stars?
On Kim, yeah. Especially if I shoot at f1.4, I want to have the stars to be out of focus, and then they look so much bigger. And it's the case on this one. Look at, can you go for screen? Look at how the stars are big. And this is because I focus on Kim at f1.4, and then the stars are giant just because they are out of focus. So this is not what usual night photographers are going to do, but when you have a subject, then I think it works well. So the next slide is about, and I have one, and I used it once, and it's for this picture. So this is the picture without the light pollution filter, with it. Okay, so you can kind of it's making everything a bit darker. So, and as we're shooting at the very limit of the settings at ISO 3200, f1.4, 8 seconds, I don't want to lose any more light. So it works, but I'm not a fan. At this point, it's just too much to handle, so I don't use that.
Yeah, can you go back again? Just to see also, like, it has an impact on obviously on the colors of the sky and the tube itself, because it changes the... So that's another thing to consider.
Yeah.
We have a few hello here. Andrea from Oregon. Hi.
Andrea, I didn't answer you. Thanks for the picture yesterday. I sent it to Kim right away so she could see it. Thanks.
It's beautiful. And yeah, other people, Fawn Photo and Run Still Right. So yeah.
Hey, Fawn, what time is it in Russia? Here it's 11 something a.m.
Yeah, Jose from Spain. Hi. And we have another question. How is the outer edge of the tube brighter? Is that... Yeah, it's in the picture. So for this one, for instance, do you want to...
Yeah, so we're simply using a glow cap. Probably have one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right there. So I have a bouncing cap. So it's just because the light is bouncing back, and so it creates that edge. But this is an old picture, and back then we didn't have these fancy caps, so we were using toilet paper.
Yeah,
that works.
A white cloth or toilet paper.
Yeah, you just stuff toilet paper at the top of the tube, and that works. But when you're shooting in the water, sometimes
or in the wind, you don't want to just
so
we didn't want to lose or leave anything.
Yeah, just because it's such a big part of our lives to go out and do tube light painting, we try to always improve our tools. We worked with toilet paper for many years, and it was okay, but it's just that you don't control a lot of things doing that, and you always end up losing it somewhere. So this is great. So available on lightpainting.store.
We have another question from Zonderful. Hey! I tried Milky Way plus light painting. I start usually with light painting, then hide behind the model while the exposure keeps going. Maybe I missed it, but can you repeat your process? Okay, so our process of shooting Milky Way plus light painting.
Yeah. Two ways to do it, and it depends what tool we're using. And the hard way is with a black tube like this, because when you're using when you're using a black tube, this part is not showing painting, so it's harder to hide behind your model. So what I would do is I make my circle, I turn up the light, and I run. And if it's not always possible, because if you have complicated
sometimes if the place is not safe, obviously it's harder.
To trip, because you have to turn off the light, so it has to be safe. But when we're working in sand dunes, it's not a problem, so I just start to run, and it doesn't matter if you don't go out of the frame. You already know that, but as long as you're moving, you won't be visible. But if I'm using a brighter tube, like a complete one, I can manage to stay very well aligned behind Kim and not be in the shot and not appear at all. Just going back to the black tube, why is it helping if I go out of the frame is that it's so hard to disappear behind Kim that if the shot is 8 seconds, I do the light painting for 2 seconds, then that means I have 6 seconds left where I can get the background to erase myself. Not sure if that's clear enough, but let's say I'm a little bit visible in the shot because I'm not well aligned, just because it's lying behind Kim. So I'm blocking the light from the background for 2 seconds. But the remaining 6 seconds where I move away is enough to make myself disappear. We'll see, like in a few days, we'll have that video with Sean Bakshaw where I had to use that technique. So I'm still a tiny bit visible, but doesn't show up that much.
Yeah, as the exposure keeps running, it exposes, like you see more the background through your body. So you disappear.
Well, that's it.
Oh, wow, that's it.
Yep.
Good. So, yeah, light pollution. Usually we try to avoid it. Well, we used to try to avoid it until we discovered that we could use it. We have another question. In this Milky Way shot, how torch? Okay, like what is your lumen? What is the power of your flashlight? And I guess this shot that is.
Yeah, it's about 50 lumens. So what you see there is not what we see with our eyes. It's very, very dim. So we barely see what's around. The tube is not lighting up much things. But it's just the fact that it's a long exposure, then everything pops out on the image. And it's not a lot of Photoshop on that. It's probably just brightness and contrast. But I did film that night, but there's barely nothing to see because this is at like 4 a.m. I think, and it's so dark, and that means you have to get your flashlight very dim. So yeah, 50 to 100 lumens only. That means that you can get a cheap flashlight at the dollar store, and that's going to work perfectly with the Milky Way. What's harder is to shoot at the blue hour, and then you need a very strong flashlight like these ones here. Okay?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and before we had really fancy flashlights, we used to tape the beam of the flashlight until it was like low enough per se. So that's another. It's less fancy, but it works when you start and you don't have like the best equipment per se. Okay, so we have a few hello from Owie in Melbourne and Scott from Niagara Falls.
Hey, Scott.
Our neighbors. And then, okay, Owie's saying, I've been tending to orb rather than to paint, but I don't know. I find the light comes out better. The light comes out better, must be the two. Well, it's a really different, like if you do orbs, it's a different technique.
Yeah, an orb is taking so much longer to do, so the settings are totally different, I guess. I tried once and I failed.
Did I see that?
Yeah, in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know, but ask the man, Dennis Smith if you're for like I think he has a new video online. I saw something quickly this morning. I'm not sure, but Dennis Smith, the ball of light. Look at this guy on Facebook. And, like everything is there. He's teaching everything about light bulbs.
25. He's saying he's doing 25 seconds of shutter time. Yeah, it's really long. It's I would say impossible unless I would like someone to like show me the opposite. But it's impossible to have someone really sharp, like a subject really sharp, if you do like that long of an exposure. It's with the same source of light, but it's a different process, definitely. Okay. So thank you guys.
Thanks everyone. We'll see you probably next week.